Agam standing by with the key takeaways from the Wipro earnings. Agam, good morning.
Good morning, Neeraj. Well, as one broking house put it, the ghosts of the past are here back to haunt Wipro, and that's something which is very evident in the company's earnings for the fourth quarter as well, something that we may expect could be a continuation of trend as moving forward. But let me just start off with your numbers. When it comes to your dollar revenues, that was largely in line, but we did see substantial weakness in the rupee revenues, where the top line moved up by just much as 0.7%. On the profitability front, it was a completely different picture. And when it comes to margins, operating margins standing at around 16%, much lower than the consensus expectations of around 16.8%. Now, moving in, with respect to the IT services dollar revenues and the expectation in the first quarter, we're looking at some amount of weakness. In fact, expecting declines of as much as 2.3% to 1% against expectations of just minus 0.5% and perhaps in growth of 1%. That's where the problem lies for Wipro. We are expecting some more problems. And speaking of the problem, one of the biggest one was the insolvencies that two of its largest clients are facing. And because of that, they had to acknowledge about 317 crores of provisions in the third quarter, about another 144 crores of provisions in the fourth quarter, and this is owing to two different clients. And that's also the reason why we are looking at the weakness in the first quarter guidance as well. Don't forget, the first quarter is also a seasonally weak one for Wipro, and that is what is expected to bear down on the stock going into today's day of trade. But moving in, perhaps a silver lining, we've seen good growth coming in for two of their key verticals, BFS up 4.7% and manufacturing technology up 4.1%. And that's also the reason why you're looking at those IT service revenues standing at around 2.4%. But this is once again only a silver lining, and we are not certain if this trend can continue in the first quarter. And on the whole, we are not expecting a positive opening for Wipro, at least as of now, based on the kind of numbers and the guidance that the company has given out.
That'll be interesting, Agam. Let's see. All IT companies, because of the tailwinds in the sector, have seen buying in dips. Wipro may just defy that trend. You never know, right? You never know.
You never know. I agree with that. Because, at the end of the day, it's not out of the blue, and some of the hits in the quarter were largely factored in as well.
Okay. Interesting. Agam, that's not all, right? Because we were talking about the weakening rupee with Michael Every just a minute ago. And, almost everybody likes to correlate rupee weakness to IT index strength. Fundamentally, is there a case for that?
So that's erroneous out there, and I'm going to establish that, because in fact, I'm going to bust this myth, and I'm sure the informed will know that there is no correlation between the rupee and the IT index as a whole. So I'm going to start off and go back 10 years, in 2008 and 2009, when the dollar was trending. Why is it that the IT index was falling? Again, this around the same time in 2010, 2011, while the IT index strengthened, we actually had the dollar weaken against the rupee. Moving in around 2012, 2013, we actually started having a positive correlation between the two. And, after 2013, 2014, there really isn't too much of a trend to look at when it comes to the Indian rupee and the Indian and the Nifty IT index. In fact, in the last couple of months, while the Indian rupee was also weakening, we also saw the Nifty IT index move up, and this was the first time in 10 years. So the point being, there is no correlation, or very little correlation, if at all. Even if there is, it will be in the short term, not necessarily in the long term, as established by this particular chart out here, Neeraj.